And we are live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another wonderful session of the GrowVeg Challenge 2.0. We are gathered here again to talk about the impact of climate change on vegetable production, a very wonderful topic. And I have here with me my co-host Opayemi. I'm Chineye Okezie, and we also have one of the GrowVeg instructors who will introduce to you shortly. So I'll hand over to my co-host Opayemi. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adebisi Opeyemi, and I am the Communication and PR Manager for Leverage Fresh Limited. And we have our guest speaker here, who will be shedding more light on the topic, Dr. Babatokwe Samuel Ajayo. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chinayen Hanopemi. Uh, rightly introduced, my name is Babatope Samuel Ajayo. Currently working here in China as a postdoctoral research fellow, and luckily enough for me, I'm one of the GrowVeg Challenge instructor. So I'm very grateful and I'm happy to be here on this platform to share some of my experiences with you today, particularly to deliberate on the very key important issues affecting agricultural production globally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us on this live session. And we are pleased to have you join us this evening. And I'm sure all our viewers this night, you're all welcome. Thank you for joining us as well. I'm sure we're all looking forward to learn from Dr. Samuel this night. And I'm sure we will all take notes of all his contributions, all his tips, because he'll be sharing some tips with us as well. So please take notes and do ensure to feel free to drop your comments or your questions as the session goes on. So, Dr. Abidemi, Dr. Samuel, Dr. Abidemi says, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. I also have Papi Joseph here saying, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Papi Joseph, for joining us as well. We are pleased to have you join the live session. So, Dr. Samuel, I have a question for you. And my first question says, climate change. What are the most significant ways?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Chineye, I can't hear you clearly here.
Okay, I asked what are the most significant ways climate change is currently affecting vegetable production in Nigeria, sir?
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Climate change is no longer uh, a new issue. So uh, uh, actually, these change basically, driven by human activities that release heat trapping gases to the atmosphere, causing global warming, and consequently resulting in extreme weather events such as high temperatures and erratic rainfall patterns. So these impacts, they have significant impacts on or significant effects on food production, and particularly uh, in Nigeria, this issue is no longer a distant threat, just like the majority view it, that no, the issue of climate change is mostly affecting the advanced country. So it's no longer, it's already affecting how and where we grow our crops in Nigeria. And basically, or most importantly, vegetable crops, which are very essential for our diets, and they are highly sensitive to changes in the climate. So, looking at situation in Nigeria, I think Nigerian food sector is highly vulnerable to climate change impacts due to its complete dominance, or dependence on rain-fed agriculture, and the impacts vary across the agroecological zone, but collectively, threatens food security and could also escalate or exacerbate hunger in the country if appropriate climate mitigation and adaptation strategies are not well implemented in the country. Or for instance, water shortages in the north, can limit vegetable production because most vegetable crops they have high requirements for water. And not only that, when you go down through the south, you realize or notice that the situation there is a bit different because the rainfall pattern there is on the very, very serious. So usually causes frequent flooding, and this flooding can damage both vegetable crops. Not only that, and even the soil can cause soil degeneration and then nutrient depletion, further affecting the yield, both the yield and the quality of the grown vegetables. Heat stress as a result of increased temperatures, also in the north, can impair flowering as well as fruiting of most fruiting vegetables, such as tomatoes and the pepper. And as well, it can impair seed viability of this crop, further impacting or reducing seed germination and subsequent development of seedling afterward, and therefore, having serious or severe impacts on the yield and the quality of these vegetable crops. So, more so, high temperatures or warmer weather or warm weather, along with a high, level of humidity, can also, create environment that favors pests as well as disease infestation, further compounding, production losses, and then making, food availability or vegetable availability in the market even more difficult. So, uh, not only that, even during transportation, post-harvest spoilage accelerates very quickly due to heat stress, and then such condition, it can seriously impact, affect the quality of the vegetable because most people they don't want to eat vegetables that are not fresh, that the qualities are not very good. So overall, addressing most of these challenges will require, a significant, amount of investment in irrigation, soil amendment, pest and disease control, and cold storage facilities, which indirectly, escalate or increase production costs and ultimately, drives up food prices in the country, further straining food security situation in Nigeria. So they are critical issues. They require coordinated and combined effort from stakeholders, government, and individuals to address this situation. If food security system in Nigeria, will be improved further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So I'm sure our viewers have seen how to the challenges that we have with climate change, and if you've been having issues with climate change in terms of vegetable production, you've come to the right place. And make sure you register for the GrowVeg Challenge 2.0 to be able to learn more from Dr. Sam here with us. So, Dr. Sam, the next question I have for you, sir, is about farmers predicting and preparing. So, how can farmers predict and prepare for climate related events? We know we have floods, we have heat waves. So, how can they prepare for all these climate-related events to reduce impact on their vegetable farms?
All right, thank you very much. So I will first address the issue of farmers' prediction, you know,
Yes.
of climate, issues or climate impacts. So one major or key factor is having access to relevant climate information, which is very, very critical for farmers to adapt to changing conditions. So, and to gain access to this information, farmers can, subscribe to weather advisory services, such as those offered by the Nigerian meteorological agencies, through their mobile phones or through their websites or through radio or television programs. Farmers can gain regular seasonal weather forecasts and alerts on extreme weather events such as the floods and the heat waves. So, by using or utilizing our seasonal rainfall forecast and the weather information made available by these channels, farmers can adjust their cropping and harvesting schedules, with early planting and early harvesting helping them to avoid period of extreme heat and heat waves. So, to address the issue of making preparation or preparing themselves, for climate-related events, farmers or vegetable growers can implement avoidable or low-cost strategies, such as growing their vegetables on raised beds, ridges, and also try to create drainage channels to prevent waterlogging in their vegetable farms. And in the case of heat waves, so farmer can, adopt the use of shade nets to protect their vegetables against heat stress. Moreover, uh, farmers, with like mind at the community level, they can also forge or form collaboration to, you know, to invest, to purchase shared infrastructures such as irrigation system or, water reservoirs, or any of these weather resistant storage facilities. So this way, all the members of such a collaboration, they can all, enjoy the benefits of such equipment, to enable them to adapt to the climate climate driven challenges. So the most important is for them to have access to appropriate climate information, and at the same time make preparation ahead, uh, utilizing, employing low cost technology to, in case of extreme events. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing that tips and insights. I'm sure people here have taken notes. All our viewers have taken notes, and our participants are also excited to have you as their GrowVeg instructor. So, Dr. Sam here is a crop production expert. And I'm sure we all can see that he has shared on how you can predict and prepare for climate-related events. There's so much more he has to offer us. So, if you want to learn more, remember to visit www.growveg.leveragefresh.com to register to be a part of those who will get this free insight and tips from Dr. Sam here with us. Thank you once again, Dr. Sam. It's a pleasure having you here with us. So I'll be
Thank you so
handing
much.
over to my co-host Okoyemi. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So my first question is, how does climate change contribute to the emergence of new pests and diseases in vegetable production?
Oh, thank you very much. I think I've mentioned a bit of that in my earlier discussion. So, as I mentioned earlier, increased temperature and high humidities can create favorable conditions or can create conditions that favors the persistence and spread of pests and pathogens and aggressive pests such as white flies or fall armyworm and virulent pathogens such as those that are responsible for downy mildew or tomato blight. They can quickly invade, uh, new areas, regions that are previously, unaffected, due to, favorable conditions, that are being created as a result of increased temperatures. So, moreover, prolonged, prolonged warm weather can also extend the pest breeding season. So, creating or leading to larger or or more persistent pest populations. Also, the what do you call it? Increased or rising temperature can also induce what do you call it? Heat stress in plants, weakening their natural defenses and making them more, vulnerable, to pest and disease attacks. So, unfortunately, infected plants or vegetables, become reservoir of pest and disease inoculum. So further amplifying, the spread and as well extending the impacts of these pathogens and pests, across regions or even across borders. So this way, climate issue, create, key thing is that they usually create environment that is much more suitable or favorable for the emergence of these pests. And so once the environment is become immediately become favorable, the pests invade and they reproduce rapidly, they grow rapidly, and then before you know it, they take over places and then, you know, places that have not been infected before. And, uh, this way, climate can also facilitate, emergence of new species by weakening the resistance or enhancing the susceptibility of plant to diseases. And once a plant is infected, it becomes secondary sources of inoculum, which can easily, be spread or dispersed around to new areas.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And
Thank
I'm sure our participants are listening right now and they are learning a lot on ways climate change can contribute to the emergence of new pests and diseases in vegetable production and how it can result to this new emergence of plant disease, ways they can use to curb these ecological niches. Thank you very much, sir. So my second question is, what practical steps can Nigerian vegetable farmers take to conserve water during periods of prolonged drought?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. During a period of prolonged droughts, Like I mentioned earlier, so drought is a major issue associated with climate change as a result of erratic pattern of rainfall. So farmer can easily adjust or adapt to this situation by planting first by planting uh, drought tolerant vegetable crop varieties. This is where crop selection becomes very essential, very, very important. So if you decide to utilize uh, crop that are very sensitive to drought or that are not cannot tolerate drought, so you probably will lose all or most of your plant during the period of drought. And in addition to that, rainwater harvesting in reservoir or in tanks, we also can also become an important practical step that farmers should, give attention or cognizance to, particularly during the period of rainfall. So farmers can collect rainwater and then make them, use this one as an alternative water source during the period of a prolonged drought. And avoidable irrigation methods, such as these plastic bottle drip irrigation kits or buried clay pots. Although this is very ancient, but I think these two methods they're very effective. They cost farmers just little, so it's very cost effective, and they are so effective that they can offers water directly to plant roots with minimal or no wastage at all. In addition to this, farmers can also use plant litters as mulch, or they can also intercrop legumes along with their vegetables as cover crops. In another way around, they can also practice what is known as conservative tillage or zero tillage. This way, they can reduce or minimize evaporation of water and you know enhances or facilitates retention of soil moisture. You know, um, all these practices, I think it is very, very important to integrate them because not just focusing on one of them, putting all of this together, selecting a drought tolerant crop materials, possibly if you have the resources, you collect rainwater and you apply plant litters as much, integrate all these practical practices together and for a more robust, you know, outcome.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. You've listed so many steps that can be used to for that can be used, and I hope our participants are also listening to it. You mentioned about six steps, six practical steps that we can take during the period of prolonged drought. Thank you very much, sir. And we have questions from one of our participants asking that what steps can we take during long drought? And I think it's the same, it's almost relating to the question I asked you, sir. I don't know if I'm right.
Yeah,
Do you want to say
you're
something else?
right. You are certainly right. I think that question has just been addressed. So
Yes,
maybe
has
I
just been
can
answered.
Maybe I can quickly
Yes. Yes, sir.
reiterate that selecting drought tolerant crop variety, and then if resources are available, collection of rainwater, and adopting low cost irrigation system. And you know, I was amazed to come across some of these technology in some even in advanced countries here, you know, where you have local farmers when they don't have the you know the substantial amount of money to invest in irrigation facility, they subscribe to these simple drip irrigation system. Like I suggested earlier, you can use plastic bottles, you know, to deliver water directly to your plant roots with minimal or no wastage. And in ancient time, they also utilize what they call clay pots. They put water in it and buried it, you know, or in your field, and then you see this way water can slowly be released to the plant roots efficiently. So these low cost irrigation system are very efficient and they are cost effective. So some of our local farmers or smallholders farmers can adopt some of these techniques, which are very useful. And I think the other approaches I mentioned, I think they are well known. Use of mulch, use of cover crops, and zero tillage, conservation tillage method. These are very important in minimizing water evaporation and retention of soil moisture. So pulling all this together, integrating most of these approaches together, and then you can have a more significant result.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Rahman is asking, how will the farmer determine the quantity of water for his crop, considering commercial farming?
The quantity of water, yeah, you see, um, each crop, they have their uh, what do you call it? Water requirements. If you are if you grow vegetables that are you know drought tolerance, or you need a minimum amount of water, you don't need to give excess water, so you can easily but if you grow some other crops that require large amount of water, you need to apply more water. And then to be able to determine accurately if your soil has adequate amount of water, there are also some soil testing devices, very cheap, simple one, that you can easily use to check the quality, the properties of the soil. So uh, you don't really need to uh, except if you are going for advanced technology, just like hydroponics or aquaponics rather. So in that way, you have to go with a map out quantity of solution, and then to grow your crop. So you don't really need to measure the exact amount of water that your crop require. You need to understand the crop you are growing. Very important. You need to know the water requirements. If it is a water that demands high amount of water, if it is a crop that requires a moderate amount of water, so you also apply moderate levels of water. So trying to estimate the exact amount of water that is required, I think that may not really be necessary or may not be practical for local farmers, because to do that you need some technology to really be able to determine the water level in the soil. Then you'll be able to know whether the amount of moisture in the soil is adequate or it's not. Maybe they need to be augmented. So the most important is that you understand your crop very well, you know the water requirements, and then you can subscribe to simple tools that can allow you to test, you know, the properties of the soil. And then from there, you can, you know, apply your water, you know, according to the requirements of your crop. And to learn more about this, I
Wow.
think most most instructors, you know, that will address some of these major growing practices. They will, you know, put more light on that during the GrowVeg challenge training.
Yes, sir, definitely they will. So, Rahman, if you've not joined us yet, kindly join GrowVeg. You still have tomorrow to register for the GrowVeg Challenge 2.0, and you can learn more on how to determine water requirements for vegetable production. Visit our website showing you on the display screen www.goveg.leveragefresh.com to register and be part of this training so that you can get answers to all your questions. Thank you very much, sir. So I'll be handing over to my co-hosts.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Obayemi. And thank you, Dr. Sam, as well. So far, Doctor, you've talked about the climate change, how it's affecting vegetable farming. You've also taught us about, as farmers, how to predict and how to prepare for these climate-related events. You also taught us about how climate change contributes to the new emergence of pests and diseases for farmers. And in terms of take practical steps as farmers to conserve water during prolonged droughts. Looking at how we have challenges when it comes to climate change as farmers, um, how are these addressed? Because we are looking at how these challenges are being addressed. Are there any government um, programs or non-governmental programs addressing these challenges? And if there are, how can farmers, how do we assess these resources?
Okay. Yes, there are several government and non-governmental programs that are currently in place to help Nigerian farmers, you know, to address these climate-driven agricultural challenges. I think I've mentioned some earlier. The Nigerian meteorological agencies provide seasonal rainfall forecasts and weather advisory services, and they can easily make the information relating to weather or to weather conditions in Nigeria or different locality. They can easily make this available through their websites, mobile applications, or through radio or you know, TV programs. So farmer can easily subscribe to any of these channels to have access to these uh, hello, can you hear me please?
Yes,
Yes, I
sir.
can hear
You're
you
back.
now, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. So farmer can subscribe to any of their channels to access some of this weather information, you know, to enable them plan their farming activities effectively. Also, the Nigerian adaptation strategies on climate change. They can provide resources or they promote sustainable climate resilient farming practices through training and then allocation of resources to smallholders farmers, delivered directly through agricultural extension offices in the various states and localities. So farmers can form collaborations with extension workers, at the community level or in their locality to, find a way to access, some of these training and the resources available for them. Similarly, the anchor borrowers programs, initiated by the Central Bank of Nigeria's, they also offers loan for, to smallholders farmer for adopting climate smart practices. And these loans, they can easily be accessible through the different agricultural cooperative channels across the country. So farmers, so this is where it is very, very important for farmers. They say a tree cannot make a forest. So it is very, very important that if you know you are into food business, then it is very, very important you try to find yourself, collaborate, you cooperate with others. So this way you can access key information and get opportunity to enjoy some, benefits such as those I just mentioned of. And then additionally, the World Bank funded Fadama 3 projects. They also offer resources and support to farmers, particularly for irrigation infrastructure. And in addition to that, I think the FAO Climate Smart Program, they also offer trainings, resources, and support to Nigerian farmers. And additionally, the USAID, the US Aid Feed the Future programs, initiated by the US government. They also offers resources and support, to farmers for irrigation system and pest control. And most of these foreign or international programs, they can easily be accessible, or you can farmers can benefit from them through, through various agricultural cooperatives or farmers associations in the different state and locality. So it is, like I said, very important. Farmers can easily, forge collaboration. They can collaborate with some of the, agencies, that have link to these resources and support, and then they can benefit from it. So it's those programs, those channels, they are there to support what we call farmers in the country to have essential resources and knowledge to adapt, and mitigate climate change impacts.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful suggestion. And I'm sure those of us here who have gone through one challenge or the other, combating with like Farmer Dioye, who says climate change has been the major issue farmers in Nigeria are combating with. So now you can see agencies and non-governmental agencies where you can go to get links, and you can always go back to watch the replay of this live session to get the suggestions Dr. Sam has given to us tonight. Thank you so much, Doctor. So the next question I have for you, sir, is on community collaboration. What role does community collaboration or participation in programs like the GrowVeg Challenge? What role does this sort of collaboration play in equipping farmers to tackle climate change challenge generally?
All right. Thank you very much for such good questions. So, the key or the most important benefit, or one of the key benefits of collaboration or participation in well organized programs such as that of GrowVeg Challenge is knowledge sharing. These kind of programs or collaboration, can bring farmers together to learn from experts, have access to appropriate information and training, you know, help them to adapt or, to climate smart practices and, exchange experiences. Such collaboration can also foster, farmers to pool resources together. Like I said initially, if farmers comes together to forge a collaboration at the community level, they can pool their resources together, you know, to invest in protective infrastructures such as the irrigation system or, rainwater collection reservoirs or tanks, and they can also invest in storage facilities. These infrastructures may be too expensive for an individual farmers. But if they pool their resources together, they can invest in this and they can all, enjoy the benefit of their, shared investment. Moreover, such collaboration or participation in such a well-organized training can also facilitate what I can regards to as organized advocacy for government support. So farmers associations or vegetable growers associations in Nigeria, at specific locality or community level, they can advocate for subsidy for climate smart equipment and tools. So this way, the government can look into their situation and see how they can subsidize some of these, equipment for them to be able to adapt to the changing condition. Moreover, these kind of well-organized trainings, offers farmers opportunity to have what we call valuable networking, connecting them with experts, with researchers, NGOs, and government agencies that can offer them technical assistance and resources and support. Not only that, these kind of training, can, expose them to what we call modern technologies or modern techniques such as hydroponics, aquaponics, uh, vertical farming, and then suitable skills, knowledge required for selection of plant varieties. So some of these things can help farmer to build or gain what we call professional capacities and skills. Very, very essential. So if we look at all these together, you know, uh, engaging or participating in programs like GrowVeg Challenge or forming a collaboration, the advantage is, far more than what you can imagine. So I think it's our farmers should go look beyond just subsistence farming, just self or individual, what do you call it, way to go or to forge ahead or to address some of these on their own. It will be very, very difficult to achieve. So, forging a collaboration with others and participating in essential training or programs just as this can give them an opportunity to have what we call proactive planning. They can plan very well, they can acquire necessary knowledge, they can share their resources, they can build what we call valuable networking and build their capacity, to allow them adopt or adapt, and mitigate the impacts of climate change.
Thank you once again, sir. You can see the benefit of joining the GrowVeg challenge and the amount of support you get by joining, and also aside from tackling climate change, there are other benefits of community collaboration, just as the several reasons why anyone who has not joined should join now and register with our website, which will be displayed shortly. We have two questions, which let me just read out. We have one from Mila. Yes, we have one for Winnie Miller. So Winnie Miller is asking if individual farmers can access this support. That's in reference to the question we asked about if there are any government or non-government. So Winnie Miller wants to know if an individual can access the resources of these government or non-government programs.
Okay, I thank you very much. Yes, some of these programs, individuals, farmer, like the one I mentioned about weather information, you don't need to uh, form, what do you call it, collaboration with anyone to access such information. But critically, uh, most of the other programs that I mentioned, I think it is very, very important. But like I said earlier, uh, one tree, just a single tree, cannot make a forest. So there is a power in collective efforts. So I think this is where uh, our local farmers should learn from. You see, when you move to other developed countries, you see that farmers associations, they are very, very strong, and their impact, because they know the benefit, they know the advantage. When you forge communicate collaboration, you have what we call collective impacts, collective, advantage, collective benefits. So I think working as an individual, to me, I think is not, and I think that issues of collaboration is part of the objectives of these, what do you call it, this grow veg challenge, because this is why we are bringing
Challenge.
everyone. Yeah, grow veg challenge, this is why we are bringing everyone together to ensure that the training everyone, you have access to the training. You are being encouraged to participate, to engage in the practical, part of the training at the same time. So everything has a time frame, and everything is being done, collectively, to ensure that each participant, they have opportunity to connect with each other, to collaborate with each other. You can share your experiences, through social media platform and through different channels. Then others can learn from you. You can't know it all. You can you in fact you
Yes.
uh, yeah, as an individual, I think uh, you can achieve so much. So to achieve more, you need what we call collective efforts. Like the issue we are dealing with now, this issue of climate change. As an individual, you cannot address this. We all need to come together, researchers, NGOs, government agency, policy makers, everyone. We have to come together. We have to come to a point at which we unite, our knowledge, we unite everything together to ensure, collective results. So, yeah, individually you can access weather information, but when it comes to other resources and support, this is where the advantage of collaboration comes in. And I think I've uh, done a bit of justice to that.
Yes, sir.
So,
Thank you so much, Dr. Sam. Winimila, I'm sure your question has been answered. So, in order for you to access this support, I'm sure I want to believe that you've registered for the GrowVeg. If not, please register for the GrowVeg challenge. And the support you're looking for, you see it with the collaboration with other like-minded farmers. So, I hope to see you in the GrowVeg challenge. And I know all your questions and your inquiries will be answered once you join. Then we have another question from Papi Joseph. He wants to know if, as temperature is getting higher, if it's advisable to reduce the fertilizer dosage on plants due to excessive absorption.
uh, what do you mean by excessive absorption? Do you mean uh, polarization or what? Okay, let me quickly look
Floor,
into
yes,
that.
floor absorption.
As
Absorption.
okay, so
Yes, sir.
as the what do we call it? Temperature is becoming higher and rising. You know, this is where the knowledge of fertilizer application is very important. The methods and the time of application, very very important. You see, uh, what type of fertilizer you know do you also apply? Taking for example, if you apply urea, you see, if the apply the fertilizer, particularly in the afternoon when the, the temperature is very, very high, definitely you should expect some of these urea, nitrogen to, to volatilize. They escape to the atmosphere, and then your plants they will not be able to have access to these fertilizer. So if you want to apply such fertilizer, it is much more appropriate that the application is done probably in the morning or in the evening. And once the complete the fertilization, ensure to apply water, or rather, it's better you apply after rainfall. When the moisture level in the soil is reasonably high. This way, the fertilizer can easily dissolve in the soil. And some of these nutrients, they are mobile. So for nitrogen, once it dissolved in the soil, it moves down, down to the soil where the plant root can easily access it. So this is where fertilizer application method and time, time of application is very, very important. That is the best approach, to adapt to such a situation. So I think you will learn more of this during the training, and you will learn about different type of application and time of application. So, which is very, very is a critical management or a practice for growing vegetables. So, this will be extensively considered during the training.
Thank you once again, Doctor. Thank you for the answers. Thank you for the insights and the ideas shared. I'm sure our viewers appreciate it all, and they look forward to also hearing from you more at the training begins. And like I said, if you've not registered, please visit the website www.growveg.leveragefresh.com as displayed on the screen. Please, if you have any questions or any comments, you can feel free to drop on Dr. Bidemi's page or wherever you're watching from. And then also get ready to register, and you have the chance to ask all the questions you need to ask from all our GrowVeg instructors. And I can promise you that you won't regret registering with us. Thank you, Dr. Bidemi, for your comment. He says, "Thank you so much, doctor." Then Papi also says, "Thank you for the response you gave to his questions. He said it was really insightful and helpful. Thank you so much, Papi. Thank you. So we've come to the end of the live session. We appreciate you all for joining us this evening, and we hope to see more of you. And then also get ready for our next live session. Please be there, and we know that you will learn more when you join us. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam. Thank you, my co-host Opayemi. It was a great time and pleasure having you all. So we've come to the end of the live session. Thank you all, and
All
bye.
right. So, bye.
Bye, sir. Bye.